Welcome back to Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. We are in the second part of the third trial. So far, no curveballs have been thrown. My theory is standing very much firm. So, hopefully I didn't screw everything up this time?
I can't hold it up anymore.
Oh my, why would you say that to me, you? You know she's gonna do things with that.
You going soft on me now?
I was gonna say, you know she's gonna do something with that.
Who made the locked-room mystery doesn't matter, since anyone could have done it.
That is very... Well, not anyone, because only people who got into the room to begin with, which are really only well, actually, are really only 6 possibilities. Because it could have been any of the 5 members of the student council, other than Angie herself, and it could have been Kokichi. Those are the only real options that I see.
Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Holy shit, Kokichi, calm down.
Cum dumpster!
Miyu, as much as I don't like that, you know, sexualized insult, you do kind of lend yourself to it. I'm sorry.
Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
Holy oh my freaking god.
What should we talk about now?
I'm deeply disturbed as well, Gonta. Poor Gonta is like, my gentlemanly training does not prepare me for this.
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab.
That, I very much agree with that, Korikio.
Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry.
That is true.
Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
The only possible exception is if someone else was able to pick locks that we didn't know about, but there's no background on that.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Technically, Himiko and Tenko also could have done it.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
Poor Himiko has been a suspect in 2 trials so far.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. That's just a waste of time.
That is.
Me? A suspect? Never kill Angie!
That, I'm not... I believe that, but I also kind of don't.
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next?
Calling all suspects.
I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Kokichi always does this, and it's kind of great.
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
Wait, what? The suspect rangers? Go, suspect rangers. You mighty suspicious suspect rangers.
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
We might catch them with their pants down!
You're not wearing pants, Miyu.
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers. What should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list?
He's so excited to ask impossible questions.
Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Wait, it is like, I didn't kill her. Moving on.
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
That is a really valid question. Because, like, it's a completely wasted kill. Based on everyone we've, like, been here, there's no one I think would just be willing to lol kill people.
Huh?
Like, if anything, that points at Maki, but I very much don't believe Maki was able to do that.
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
You've activated my trap card.
What do you mean?
The 2 victims could have been killed by 2 separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first blackened responsible for the first victim.
And plus, that is what the whole point of the trial, actually.
We gotta figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless. Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Go, get him, Himiko.
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you!
I'm so glad she's finally actually being a character.
Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her?
Was that a general you, or was that specifically at Kokichi?
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS.
That's, I mean, like, I do, based on the way she was acting right before the killings, I'm not sure that's not true. I think Himiko may, I just don't know.
You didn't give two shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise you'd think that.
I mean, that is kind of like, she was devoted to Angie. I was sort of like, she was very dismissive of Tenko, and Tenko was constantly trying to get in her pants.
I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive.
I do have to wonder if it was just that Angie was uncomfortable with like Tenko's blatant advances, but instead of just being like, dude, chill the fuck out, leave me alone, she just sort of ignored it.
But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously. It's way too late to realize that now.
Got Kaito, she's having a moment.
Our only option is to face her death head on.
Yeah. Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through,
How do you understand what she's going through?
so I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth. I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
All right, I'm with you, Kaito.
Kaito. All right. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless.
Physical violence, the ultimate arbiter at a class trial.
The name of the curse is Death Curse.
That's not a silencing curse.
I suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Listen up. All you guys are gonna help out too.
All right,
Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival.
is a bad thing to do.
That's just as bad as a hit and run. I won't forgive something so messed up.
High five.
Tenko was our friend. Going to want to know why she died too.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
I actually, again, the big problem is that, as we already discussed, anyone could have done the locked room mystery. We do have it narrowed down to 6 suspects, but I really felt like most of my actual narrowification, if that's a word, came from Tenko's murder, not from Angie's. Angie's just let me narrow the suspect pool down to a handful.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death.
Although I frankly think it would be kind of awesome if it actually was a separate killer, except based on the rule set, that Blackened was a wasted murder and just had to go back to living with everyone else. Like, how awkward would that be?
Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
God, Kokichi, stop.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were 2 different culprits yet.
That is true.
Let's talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But what the appropriate topic, was that intentional?
So what do we talk about first?
Are we talking? That's the Is he concerned with the appropriation topic coming from Kokichi or coming from ultimate anthropologist? I can never remember his damn name.
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tancrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Initially, I would have disagreed with you because it's someone that was under the floorboards, but I actually have kind of reversed my stance on that.
Tancrotch!
It was in the seance. Me, Himiko, Kokichi, Ki. I think it was us 5. Oh, I get.
Oh no!
Okay, I did not. I just remember there were 3. So.
That's it!
I'm dumb. For some reason, I was like, oh, there's 5, so it's obviously this one with 5 on it.
Himiko and Kokichi.
So those 4 are the culprits.
You're so dumb.
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the 4 is really Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
Yeah, but I mean, I somewhat agree with that because the seance was the entire thing that allowed the murder to happen. But I also don't because I mean, anyone that knew Kyo would have known he would want to do a seance.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Yeah, although, didn't you only explain it to me and Kokichi?
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
Ooh, that is true. That's something I had kind of forgotten about. Oh, that's why the crosspiece was kind of all 3 rooms. Possibly because whoever was going to do the seance didn't want to select which room, and just that actually makes Kyo seem even more suspicious, because if they cut a crosspiece out of all 3 rooms, he could have set up the circle in any of the 3 rooms and still been able to perform. But then where was the sickle located? Because you'd have to access it from any of the 3 rooms. You can get to it from 2 of them by reaching down in that like little gap. Oh, I guess in the preparations he could have also, taken time out to move it, and those slipped away to do that. Lastly, so that does make Kyo a little more suspicious. But again, I keep running right back into he could not have killed Angie. So, it's frustrating. He would be my number 1 suspect if not for the fact he cannot have done the first murder. It's ugh. The middle room's always best for stuff like this.
Oh, right.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
Point of entry from the outside. He must be referring to the floorboards. The floorboards under Tinko were loose. Culprit might have gone through the floor to enter. Oh. There's no location we could have entered X without losing that area. Whoops. Well, in that case, are you talking about the hole in the wall back here?
There!
Okay. I didn't think you could actually get through there, though. I thought it was just...
Talking about under the floor, right?
I mean, that's what the floorboards referred to.
Huh? Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person can move through.
That is true. I thought when I said the floorboards, that would also count as under the floor.
There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Several suspects.
Another suspect? Who?
Everyone.
It's appearing before me.
Oh, don't be all stupid and weird.
Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer.
Just say it. Don't fiddle around with this like voodoo crap. Okay. Man, it's been a while. I mean, like, this has been listening to people for most of it.
Culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
Okay.
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second.
Interesting.
The culprit sneaked in.
So what is this? What does this actually say? Kibo's flashlight function. I meant a blinding light.
During the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor.
Well, we would have seen it up through the
You
floorboards.
see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor.
Damn it! I don't.
Damn it!
I mean, what I want to say is it's too bright under there.
Culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance.
Does the loose floorboard say anything?
How could they
I-
even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had.
That's not what I meant to do.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's. Oh my gosh, I'm so.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance.
I mean, I can agree to that. I just don't actually agree with it.
Under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Okay, I guess I can try to agree with light. I don't actually agree, and so that's the problem.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
It just feels weird to agree with where they're already going with that.
Dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
God damn it. I'm not sure how to get through this thing. I'm not sure which part to counter.
Villain had a light.
Okay, that's it then. Alright, dang, that took forever for me to figure it out. Sorry, guys.
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor.
I mean, that's what I was trying to say. I just wasn't sure which piece to argue with. I'm like, do I talk about the floorboards that's shining up? Do I talk about the hole with it shining up?
There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
I mean, we can claim it. There's just no evidence for it.
Jeez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
You just really want to blame the robot for everything.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
You shouldn't brag about that, my friend.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Wait, did you just like...
With the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would be difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
I mean, I'm sure they have something to do with it.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Going to think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from under floor.
That's what I thought as well. I'm actually wondering if they just like pulled it out. What I'm actually thinking happened is they pulled it out, reached below, and got their like elbow around up inside the cage, and then stabbed that way. And then they like shifted it back, but it wasn't a perfect shift.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
The only problem I have with that is, even with the crosspiece missing, could you shift it that well whenever there is a, like, 300 pounds sitting on it?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that.
That's a very interesting, theory. I wonder where you got that from.
That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could stab her through the floorboards.
Boy, that sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
I love the little references.
Her corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right?
It was.
If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit.
I actually consider that as well. I mean, if you moved a floorboard under Tenko before you stabbed her, I don't know, other than she was just like, oh, well, maybe this is part of the seance, is the only thing I can figure.
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however. Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
This is the second time Korekiyo has tried to shift the topic of debate to something else.
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
When? So not during seance?
Well, definitely during seance. That part's not in question.
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she?
But she darn well better have been. Otherwise, I completely messed this up.
Someone have gotten to her there.
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage.
Well, she talked after she was under it, so that's impossible.
That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
Yeah.
Yes, she was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
Ooh, maybe she got killed by a grue. No one's ever thought about it. No one's considered that yet.
The floorboard was removed at that point, so it's likely she was already dead then.
So she was killed when the room was dark?
Yes.
But she was inside cage, right? Going to think it impossible to kill her then.
Well, obviously it wasn't.
Then she wasn't killed when the room was dark. It was a different time.
There's no other possibility, though.
A different time?
How the fuck should I know? You figure it out, shitheads.
Well, you shouldn't propose things you have no idea about.
Huh? Since Gonta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory.
Of which you have no idea, and you want us to do the work for.
Hurry up and think! If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains!
God damn it, Miyu. She's so lewd.
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. and she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Ooh, like that.
What the
Cage
hell?
lifted? Culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Nerg!
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit.
That is so stupid.
There's no doubt.
What is her problem, you? Exactly, there's no evidence that supports that theory.
Got killed. It wasn't.
Okay. So there was already blood on the cage.
During the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time, and she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Yeah, okay, good. Good. Because the blood was already on the sheet.
No, it wasn't possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted.
Not to mention, I mean, what, Himiko, like, is a secret, like, an ultimator assassin and can kill someone in plain view of everyone else and no one notices?
Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it. That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted. If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
What? But how could my golden brain be wrong when it felt so right?
Because your golden brain isn't as good as you think it is.
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remodel right here!
Wait, what?
No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
What?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out!
Okay, you can do this. Good luck.
Tenko died after the seance. It happened when the sheet was lifted. That was the moment the culprit chose to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage. They stuck the thin blade through the gaps of the cage, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red!
But the weapon was a sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the culprit, and that's none other than Kyo! The blade's all you need.
Okay.
If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
But the thing was under the floorboards. That should have been it, actually.
Blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the culprit, and that's none other than Kyo!
I mean, there is. I don't know.
All you need. If you stick the blade.
I guess you could also say that she wouldn't have been dead immediately, but
Through a gap in the cage, It'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
I don't know how to counter that. I mean, I countered it the correct way already, I feel like. Okay, that apparently actually does it. I didn't think I was counting the fact that she was sitting down. I thought I was counting the fact that...
Wait just a minute. Tenko wasn't sitting down inside the cage. She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone. And the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
I guess that makes sense, but I thought I was countering the idea that you could stab her at that, right when the thing was lifted, and she would already be dead, which I think was also a valid refutation.
Then I messed up again? How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
No worries, Mew. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
Kokichi, you never help.
Yeah, no worries.
Kota.
How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
That is true. So we're right back to possibly someone under the floorboards, or my theory about the being moved and being done by someone in the room. So, with that said, we will end this episode and we will continue investigating or debating next time.